An RAF corporal from Sleaford has been named as the vice-captain of Team UK for next year's Invictus Games, a championship started by Prince Harry, of course, for injured and wounded servicemen and women. Now, David Morris works with the Red Arrows. He was diagnosed with severe post-traumatic stress disorder following 2 fatal accidents in 2011. It's been 8 years since 2 tragedies hit the RAF's Red Arrows in close succession. First, pilot John Egging died shortly after performing at the Bournemouth Air Festival in August 2011. Then, just 3 months later, Flight Lieutenant Sean Cunningham was involved in an accident on the tarmac in front of his colleagues. He had been preparing his Hawk jet for takeoff from RAF Scampton when he was propelled as high as 300 feet into the air when his ejector seat misfired. David Morris was amongst the friends and colleagues who saw what happened. He then had to give testimony at the inquest into Sean Cunningham's death, going over the details of that day. It has, of course, been a traumatic time for Corporal Morris and his colleagues, a time he says was made easier by his involvement in sport. Well, I spoke to him earlier today, just after his role as vice-captain of the Team UK for the Invictus Games was announced. David, congratulations. You must be absolutely thrilled.
I am absolutely over the moon. I did not expect this for a second time running.
So, vice-captain of Team UK, how have the games, why are they so important, and how have they helped you deal with post-traumatic stress?
I think the games are so important for recovery, the recovery process going through this and going on this journey. It gives you a new sense of purpose. It helps you to overcome some of the things that have been so difficult, and it's all down to teamwork and motivation.
Let me ask you this. I mean, it's a very difficult question. You saw the Red Arrows tragedy. How hard was that to watch and to witness?
It had a really profound effect on everything that I did, and it took a little while for it to surface. So from the time that it happened until the time I found out, it was probably a good 2 years. That mixed with just being busy in my life, I think I don't really realise how much of an impact it actually had until I started suffering. My family noticed it before I did. It wasn't very pleasant.
And when you see something like that, does it always stick with you? Because I mean, the Reds as well are a very close-knit group, aren't they?
They are, yeah. It was a tough time for everybody. I think everybody went through their own kind of problems at the time, and so I didn't want to add to a burden. That's how I felt it was going to look. I was adding to a problem, but in actual fact, I mean, if I'd have reached out and asked for help in the first place, I don't think I would have got to the stage that I was.
But I suppose it's, you know, a group like that, admitting that you feel, you know, upset or hurt or worried or whatever, is almost a sign of weakness, isn't it? We've got to get over that.
Yeah, I think most people feel like that when they, you know, especially in the military environment, when you go through a trauma or a tragedy and you are in a group of people that are going through probably the same sort of emotions, everybody handles things very, very differently. But for the individual like myself, you don't want to reach out for help because you do feel that you are maybe pulling the team down, or it's a sign of weakness. I found that very, very difficult to admit that there was a problem.
And just finally, could you go back to working, doing what you were doing now? Are you well enough for that?
Yeah, I'm still serving. I'm in the RAF still, and I am currently in recruitment. So I'm survival equipment fitter by trade. However, I am recruiting the new generation of the RAF.
Well, that's very good to hear. Again, congratulations. I do wish you well next year. Thank you very much indeed, David.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, incredible guy, Corporal David Morris from Sleaford. Just announced today that he's going to be vice-captain of Team UK in the Invictus Games 2020, which are going to be held next year, of course, in The Hague in the Netherlands.